I believe that the time is coming for mana, and I do believe that during the next bull run, mana could very well, hypothetically, go to the price of at least $15. And even though this isn't financial advice, I want to explain several reasons why I believe mana could very well reach this price during the next bull run. First of all, when it comes to mana, what is it, right? Mana is the native utility token for Decentraland. And when it comes to Decentraland, I do believe that it is one of the best metaverses out there. I think Decentraland is amazing. When it comes to Decentraland, in my opinion, it's very fun. I think it's very enticing. And I think it's very exhilarating to play. A lot of metaverses out there are just not that good, but I think Decentraland is amazing. Furthermore, I think it should be noted that Decentraland is doing very well as of right now. For example, if we take a look at this, we will see that in the past 30 days, there has been over 40,000 transactions on Decentraland. In addition, in the past month alone, there was over 1,800 unique active wallets interacting with Decentraland, which I think is very impressive. However, it doesn't end there, because if we take a look at this, more surprisingly, in the past 30 days, there has been a balance of over $21 million worth of assets in Decentraland's smart contracts. And I think this right here are some very insane figures, especially when I consider how the crypto space overall is down. When the crypto space overall started going down, a lot of people, they just left the metaverse scene overall. However, even despite the market downturn, Decentraland is still doing relatively well, in my opinion. And I think this truly speaks volumes as to just how amazing they are. Again, right, despite a market downturn, they're still doing good. And I would also like to mention how when it comes to Decentraland's marketplace, I think it is doing so amazingly. We take a look at this, right? We will see that the Decentraland marketplace is currently experiencing 116 sales per day, which I think is something to behold. And something else that gets me very enthusiastic about the future of Decentraland is the fact that I do believe that the metaverse industry has such incredible potential. And in fact, there's data that shows how this could very well be the case. For example, if we take a look at this, we will see that according to Citi, they are predicting that the metaverse represents a potential $8 to $13 trillion opportunity by 2030 that could boast as many as 5 billion users. And I think that right there is a very staggering figure. I think that, if anything, showcases just how massive the metaverse industry could potentially be in the very near future. And I do believe that moving forward, as the metaverse industry continues to grow, I think so will fundamentally amazing projects, much like Decentraland, that are focused on the metaverse industry. Overall, when I consider the fundamentals of Decentraland, when I consider how well it is doing right here, right now, and when I consider the potential of the metaverse industry overall, I truly do believe that Decentraland's native token called Mana could very well attain the price of at least $15 during the next bull run. And even though that isn't financial advice, and even though that is not a guarantee, when I say Mana going to the price of $15, some people, they may think, oh, that's unrealistic for Mana. However, I don't think it's unrealistic, and let me show you why I think so. And one of the major reasons why I believe Mana could attain the price of $15 during the next bull run is because I do believe that the next bull run could absolutely be massive. I think the next bull run could be legendary. And the reason why I think that way is because when I take a look at it right now, there's currently over 420 million people around the globe owning cryptocurrencies. And what that indicates right there is that there's actually more people than ever before in history owning cryptos. And just to give this number some context, just around 2 years ago, in 2021, during that massive bull run, there was roughly only around 300 million people owning cryptocurrencies. However, you fast forward to today, there's over 120 million new crypto owners. And I truly do believe that, with having over 420 million people owning cryptos, when you have that many people owning cryptocurrencies, I truly do believe that during the next bull run, the amount of FOMO, buying pressure, and buying volume could very well be through the roof. And I strongly do believe that during the next bull run, Bitcoin could very well at least go to the price of $100,000. And I think if that were to happen, the altcoin season at that point would be absolutely ridiculous. And ridiculous in a good way, because I think altcoins, if the price of Bitcoin were to breach $100,000, they're just going to go crazy. And I think at that point, when altcoins start having a massive rally, I think so will fundamentally amazing cryptocurrencies, much like Mana. I think Mana at that point is going to go along with the ride. So when I consider just how massive the next bull run could really be, and when I consider the strong fundamentals of Decentraland, I truly do believe that Mana could very well go to the price of $15. And now, I would also like to mention, when I say that price point, some people, they may think, oh, how does Mana even have a future? Some people think that Mana can't even go back to its all-time high price. And usually this talk is coming from people who are concerned over the SEC labeling Mana as a security. As we all know, not too long ago, the SEC did label Mana along with Sand, Sol, ADA, and a bunch of other cryptocurrencies as securities. And, more specifically, when it comes to Mana, a lot of people, they're concerned by this, right? They think that, oh, Mana has no future anymore. However, I disagree. And let me explain why. First of all, when it comes to the SEC, when they label Mana as a security, it doesn't mean it actually is. They are just alleging that Mana is a security. And here's the thing, right? In order for them to actually go through that whole legal process of trying to prove that Mana is a security, that's going to take multiple years. It's going to be a very long and drawn-out process. And I think before that can even happen, before the whole process ends, if the SEC does try to pursue Decentraland, I think, the next bull run by that point would have already happened anyways. I do believe that when it comes to Mana, I think it will do just fine during the next bull run. And also, you got to take this into consideration. Judge Annalisa Torres, on July 13th, ruled that Ripple Labs did not violate federal security laws by selling its XRP token on public exchanges. So again, when the SEC says something is a security, it doesn't mean that it 100% is. It actually has to be proven. I think when people worry about, Mana being labeled as a security, I think their worries are largely overblown in my opinion. I don't think it's that big of a deal. And if you want to check out a very interesting video, make sure to go ahead and click on this thumbnail right here. It's a very fantastic video, and I think you all would really love it.